On June 16th, 2026, Malaysia signed a contract for 18 Caesar howitzers, and the French manufacturer KNDS declared it the 15th nation to buy the system. That number is the story. In 2022, the Caesar was a niche export product, built at 2 guns a month in a single factory at Roanne. Today, the manufacturer claims roughly 800 systems ordered or delivered worldwide. Belgium bought it, Lithuania bought it twice, Estonia, Armenia, Croatia, Slovenia, and the Czech Republic all signed contracts. France ordered 109 of a new generation version for its own army, and a French wheeled howitzer is now being offered to the United States Army through an American prime contractor. Something changed between 2022 and today, and everyone in the artillery business knows exactly what it was. So here is the question this video answers. What did 15 defense ministries see in a plain military truck with a gun bolted to the back that they did not see in rivals that are better protected, better automated, and in several measurable ways simply better guns? Artillery was supposed to be a solved problem. Across NATO through the 1990s and the 2000s, gun batteries were cut, and the tracked, self-propelled howitzer sat comfortably at the top of the hierarchy. France kept the AUF-1, a tracked gun that had been in service for more than 45 years. Malaysia had no self-propelled artillery at all. Its gunners worked from towed pieces that needed a truck to move them and a crew standing in the open to lay them. Then Russia invaded Ukraine, and the assumptions collapsed inside a fortnight. The problem was not caliber, and it was not range. It was time. Modern counter-battery radar, combined with cheap reconnaissance drones loitering over the line of contact, compressed the window between a gun firing and that gun being located to something close to 3 minutes. A towed howitzer cannot move in 3 minutes. It needs a prime mover hooked up, spades lifted, and a crew stowing equipment while the incoming rounds are already being computed. A tracked howitzer can move, but slowly, and it burns fuel and maintenance hours that punish a thin logistics tail. The result was a war in which the decisive artillery quality was no longer weight of fire, it was displacement speed. Guns that could not clear a firing position quickly were not merely at risk, they were consumables. That reframing landed on procurement desks across Europe and Asia in the same season. Ammunition stocks were thin, tracked fleets were old. Every ministry suddenly needed a gun that could be bought quickly, crewed by a small team, and operated in an environment where being found is assumed rather than feared. The requirement had changed shape, and only a handful of systems had been designed against it. The Caesar is not a complicated machine, and that is the entire design argument. It is a 155mm gun of 52 calibers length, bolted to the back of a militarized truck chassis, served by a crew of 5, and in newer versions, as few as 3. There is no turret, there is no tracked running gear. Almost everything that makes a conventional self-propelled howitzer expensive has been deleted. Start with the gun. It fires up to 6 rounds per minute, and with extended range full-bore ammunition, it reaches beyond 40 kilometers. Rocket-assisted projectiles push published figures to around 50 kilometers and above, although the exact maximum varies by shell type, and armies and manufacturers quote different numbers. That reach means one battery covers a frontage that once demanded several, and it strikes command posts, ammunition dumps, and gun lines sitting well behind the contact line, rather than only the troops in front of it. Now the chassis, which is where the argument is actually won. The 6x6 version has a combat weight under 18 tons. That means it crosses civilian bridges a 55-ton tracked howitzer cannot approach, moves on ordinary roads without heavy equipment transporters, and fits inside an A400M Atlas. The lighter variant is also described as carryable by C-130 class aircraft, though sources differ on how much preparation that requires. Road speed runs to about 100 km per hour, with several hundred kilometers of range on internal fuel. That means the gun repositions between sectors under its own power, at the speed of the convoy around it, on the same diesel the brigade already carries. But the number that made this system famous in Ukraine is none of those. It is not range, it is not rate of fire, it is a stopwatch reading. A gunner of the 55th Separate Artillery Brigade, speaking to Radio Free Europe in 2023, described the sequence plainly. The crew can occupy a position and open fire in under a minute. Firing on the target and clearing the position takes 3 to 5 minutes. Set that against a counter-battery cycle measured in roughly 3 minutes, and the design logic becomes obvious. The Caesar does not survive by absorbing a hit. It survives by not being there when the hit arrives. Everything else follows from that choice. The hydraulic spade, the assisted laying system, and the onboard ballistic computer exist to compress the time between arriving and firing. The 18 rounds carried on the 6x6 exist because a gun that displaces every few minutes does not need 60 rounds on board. It needs a resupply truck close behind. Protection is thin by design, and the crew accepts that trade because the alternative is armor that slows the vehicle down. Ukraine also rewrote the vehicle itself. The new generation Mark II, ordered by France in a batch of 109, and since selected by Belgium, Lithuania, Slovenia, and Croatia, carries an armored cab hardened against mines, fragments, and drone attack. Engine output rises from around 215 horsepower to 460. Run-flat tires, a new inertial navigation set, and full network integration follow. Combat weight climbs toward the mid-20s in tons, and the manufacturer states that it remains transportable by A400M. If you follow defense procurement seriously, subscribe to the channel before we go further. What comes next is the part every ministry argued over. The Caesar did not win these competitions unopposed, and its rivals are genuinely superior at several things. Start with Archer, the Swedish system from BAE Systems. It is the most automated wheeled howitzer in service. The crew of 3 or 4 never leaves the armored cab, and the magazine holds 21 ready rounds. It fires 8 to 9 rounds a minute and clears a position in roughly 20 to 30 seconds, faster than anything the Caesar can manage. In a contest of pure survivability, Archer is the better machine. It lost on price and on availability. Published unit costs climbed from around $4.5 million in 2010 to above $10 million by 2023, and Swedish production was already committed to Sweden and the United Kingdom. A ministry needing 18 guns this decade could not place an order and expect delivery. Then Atmos from Israel's Elbit Systems. It is a comparable truck gun with similar tactical logic, and it beats the Caesar on 2 things that matter enormously to a treasury: price and delivery schedule. It has beaten the Caesar head-to-head. Denmark, which already operated the Caesar and had trained crews, selected Atmos for its replacement buy, citing faster delivery and better commercial terms. Colombia chose Atmos as well. Those are real defeats, and they should be stated plainly. The postscript is less comfortable for Elbit because Danish deliveries slipped, and Danish officials publicly expressed regret as the schedule moved into 2026. Then the heavyweight. The PZH-2000 is the finest tracked howitzer ever built, and nothing here disputes that. It places 3 rounds on a target in 9 seconds, sustains 10 or more rounds a minute, carries 60 rounds internally, and protects its crew inside a fully armored turret. In a positional battle with secure logistics, it outshoots the Caesar comprehensively. It also weighs around 55 tons, costs roughly 17 to 18 million euros per gun, and cannot be flown anywhere useful. In Ukraine, its barrels and loading systems wore under an intensity of fire nobody had designed them for, and spare parts became the limiting factor. The chairman of the German Parliament's Defense Committee, Markus Faber, remarked that it was absurd for more weapon systems to fail from missing spare parts than from enemy fire. There is one figure that captures the whole trade, and it needs a clear health warning. A French parliamentary report published in 2025, citing data supplied by KNDS, put Caesar availability in Ukraine after 5 months of use above 60%, against 32% for the PZH-2000 and 38% for Archer. That is manufacturer source data quoted in a French document about a French product, and it should be read as a claim rather than an independent audit. But it points at the real elimination logic, which has nothing to do with muzzle velocity. The reasons the rivals lost repeat with remarkable consistency. Weight, because a gun that cannot use civil infrastructure limits where a brigade can go. Cost, because ministries are buying artillery alongside air defense, ammunition, and drones from one budget. Sustainment, because a simple truck is repaired by mechanics who already repair trucks. And availability, because a factory building 8 guns a month sells to nations that need guns this year rather than next decade. The field is not standing still. South Korea's Hanwha sells the K9 at a lower unit price with formidable production capacity. Germany's RCH-155 mounts a fully automated turret on a Boxer hull with a fire-on-the-move capability the Caesar does not have. What the French system offers is the least sophisticated answer available, delivered soonest, at a price that permits buying enough of them to matter.
The combat record is the reason any of this happened. France donated around 30 guns from 2022 onward. Denmark transferred 19 of the 8x8 variant. In March 2024, the French defense minister announced an allied coalition purchase of 78 more. By October 2025, a KNDS executive stated that 120 Caesar systems were deployed in Ukraine. The manufacturer has also said Ukrainian losses ran below 10% of the guns delivered, against close to 30% for some other artillery types. That comparison comes from the company. Independent visual confirmation records a far smaller count, and that tally is a floor rather than a total, because not every destroyed vehicle is photographed.
The where figures are more revealing than the loss figures. KNDS stated in May 2025 that the 19 Danish supplied 8x8 guns had fired more than 40,000 rounds between them, and that some barrels in Ukraine had passed 7,000 rounds. French parliamentarians noted that industry could not always keep pace with barrel replacement, which is the unglamorous constraint sitting behind every artillery success story. Then the honest problem. The Czech Republic ordered 62 Caesars on Tatra 8x8 chassis for around 10.3 billion Czech koruna, with roughly 40% of each gun built domestically. In July 2025, the Czech Chief Armaments Director, Lubor Kudelka, wrote to the manufacturer warning that Prague would stop paying advances if the howitzers were not prepared for military testing.
Czech reporting indicated that prototypes had not met a required range performance in a demanding firing mode, and the Defence Minister, Jana Černochová, spoke of serious problems. Billions of koruna had already been transferred. Whether serial deliveries have since recovered their schedule is not clearly established in open sources. Ahead lies the largest prize of all. On October 13, 2025, KNDS and the American firm Leonardo DRS announced a teaming agreement to offer an American-built Caesar for the United States Army's self-propelled howitzer modernization effort, with the American company as prime contractor. It follows the cancellation of the Extended Range Cannon Artillery program in 2024 after prototype gun tubes wore out faster than the Army could accept. The requirement is often described as being in the region of 400 guns, but that is a planning expectation rather than a contract, and the field includes Hanwha, BAE Systems, American Rheinmetall, General Dynamics, and Elbit. No selection has been made. Meanwhile, the Southeast Asian pattern repeats. Thailand bought the first export Caesars in 2006 and has used them in border fighting with Cambodia. Indonesia built toward 55 systems with local involvement from Pindad. Malaysia now joins with assembly in Segamat in Johor. Every one of those contracts carries a technology transfer clause because the sale is no longer just a gun. 15 nations did not choose the Caesar because it is the finest howitzer in the world, and none of their generals would claim that it is.
They chose it because the war in Ukraine redefined what artillery must do, and a light truck with a gun on the back answered the new requirement faster and cheaper than anything more advanced could. Mobility became protection, simplicity became availability, production rate became strategy. The consequences are already visible on the map. A French system designed at Rouen is now assembled in Johor, in Jakarta, and in Ostrava, embedded inside the industrial base of the countries that buy it. That is how a weapon stops being a product and becomes a standard. The decision now sitting in Washington will determine whether that standard remains a European and Asian achievement or becomes the artillery of the largest army in the Western world.